All right. So, like I said, now we're like 3 times. Um, First thing I want you to do is to delete all of the comments. Okay. Everything that's in your workspace. Um, I want you to all of the gray boxes, none of the purple boxes. I think that is messing a lot of things up and making it far more difficult. If you haven't yet, you need to make your emoji questions, which are, they need to be like this. They need to be um, declare and initialize blocks where you're initializing them as a string, except in that string, you are putting the emojis, which I guess technically doesn't have to make sense as far as, like, I'm not going to judge you as whether or not dog and rocket ship Isle of Dogs. Um, but you do need some, what would you call them? Questions, I guess they're calling them, in order to do this. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all of the comments. You can keep the stars that are just sort of dividing the variables from the event handlers, but it's not really necessary. In fact, I'm just going to clean up everything. And I know this makes it extra tricky to do the thing I suggested before, where it becomes easier for all of us if you keep your line numbers lined up with mine. I realize that makes it me moving everything around makes it more difficult for you to do that, but trying to keep things at least in order will be beneficial. Okay. So instead of these sorts of instructions that the comments are giving us, we are going to do, we're going to go through and put in, or I'm going to put in my own comments that are, I mean, better, um, that are more direct in what we need to do. Okay. So let's think about, and I'm going to do some comments up here. Um, what are the things we need to do when the game starts? Okay, we need to set um, or what's the word? Yeah, set um, the quiz screen to next question is one of the things we need to do when the game is going on, for every turn, essentially. Set the quiz to the next question. Update the variable. I don't want to put quotes around it. It's correct answer to match question. Then what do we need to do? We need to get users, let's quote, users guess, and then compare to correct answer. Add and how about just +1 to score if correct? And um, then we need to start or continue add to the results output, meaning where do we get the thumbs? Is it in this one? I want the thumb emoji because in the actual example, you can see at the end, when you get to the end, there is the list of correct answers and the thumbs up and thumbs down of whether or not the user got it correct. And so this is just going to be one long string that every turn we take whatever used to be there and add to it the turn number, the title of the correct answer, and either a thumb up or thumb down. So let's go and do, okay, add result, output, thumb up, and thumb down. Okay, and then what else do we need to do? We need to update turn number. And okay, so we're checking. This will be, let's say this is these are for every turn, and then at the end, let me put this is there a better way to do this? There is. What is the long? Is it slash star star? What is the long form comment? Whatever. End game. Check for end game. And the last thing is set result text. All right. So what do we do first? Set result text. Okay, so these are like the steps, and we're just going to plow through them. We already have our user guess collection and declaring our well, just creating a local variable. And there are a lot of times in this program where local variables are useful. And actually, for most of this app, everything that is only used inside of our main button could technically be local variables. The only things that have to be global are the things that are used by more than one function, which anything that needs to be reset is used by the reset button event handler. So these four have to be global. The other ones, it's just good practice to put, when in doubt, make them global in case something else happens. And so there's that. Here, user guess, we're just collecting user guess will only ever be used in the submit button. And correct answer is just sort of like a temporary container. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, set screen to next question. No, let's update correct answer. Okay, we need update correct answer. That's what, wow, this is slow. Okay, update correct answer is one thing we have to do. Turn is 1, correct answer equals 1. I'll give you 30 seconds to figure out what goes here for turn. I'll just go slow and you should be able to beat me to the finish line. If turn double equals 2, then correct answer is answer 2. Okay, so every time through, it's checking the turn number, and putting whatever answer corresponds to that turn in our sort of correct answer thing. Turn double equals 3. Correct answer is answer 3. Otherwise, correct answer is answer 4. We don't need another condition for this because the way our game works is it will never get past turn 4. So turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. Otherwise, it has to be turn 4 because the game ends. Okay, so this set user text just clears out the user's text every turn. Oh, thank you. That would be a bug. That was not one of my intentionally wrong for the sake of learning. Okay, so we need to get the user's guess. We already did that. That should already exist from last time from our rain day thing. Okay, so we're getting the user's guess. We are updating the correct answer. Now we need to check, compare correct answer. Okay, setting screen to the next question has to do after we are done, after we've done some sort of checking and adding to the score. Because if we so you can see we have a couple of, we'll get to it in a second. But the fact that we have 2 conditional if branches that are both checking for turn number and doing a thing should tell you that, I mean, I don't know, get your spidey sense tingling that you probably could do it more efficiently. But for now, since we're not doing like return functions and setting up outside stuff, this is fine. Okay, so this is all well, I don't need to rearrange things, but the set text to empty can happen anytime we've gotten the user's guess here. We can reset it immediately. And I'm just putting this up here because these are related. Okay, so we've set correct answer to we set correct answer to whatever answer it is based on the turn number. We've gotten the user's guess and turned it to uppercase, so we don't have to worry about case sensitivity. Now we need to compare the two if they're correct. Okay, so we have, there's only 2 conditions, right or wrong. And I'll give you 15 seconds to see if you can figure out what goes here, which conditional makes it a comparison of whether the answer is correct. Okay, so we are checking. Oh wait, I have a comment here. Add one, set screen. Did I have check for? Oh, this is my to-do list. Okay, we need to check if correct. So correct if correct answer double equals user guess, which those could go in either order. User guess double equals correct answer. What do we do? Well, we have a variable called score. We're going to have score go up by 1. 2 ways to do score goes up by 1. The main way where you don't have to switch to text mode is score gets score plus 1. We are replacing what's in the variable score with whatever it used to be plus 1, making sure not to do var. Super duper important. Program breaking mistakes are using var more than once for the same variable. Even if it's a local variable, any updates to it are not varred. Okay, the other way to do increment, as it's called, increase by 1, is to just do score plus plus. I acknowledge your sneeze. The plus plus is the conventional way of incrementing by 1. Yeah, so there's that. But I'll leave it like this so we can keep track of, well, just it's the way we've done it. Okay, so our result string, like I showed before, is the going to be this series of concatenates where the first time through, our result screen is going to get turn number concatenated plus sign, connecting the train cars with a period and a space, concatenated with the answer for that turn or correct answer, which is the answer we're working with, and then either a thumb up or a thumb down. But we want to concat all these things at the same time, which means we need to solve a way of keeping track of whether they get the thumb up or thumb down for that turn. And whenever you hear something like we need to keep track of, you should immediately think of variables. Okay, so we need a variable to keep track of thumb up or thumb down. Let's just call it thumb. And this could just be regular declared because we're not doing anything, but when in doubt, initialize strings as empty strings. Okay, so if they get the correct answer, score goes up by 1, and we're going to set thumb to positive or thumbs up. Thumb is, and in quotes, because emojis are characters. Emojis are like letters. Okay, they are ASCII characters. It's anywhere you can type letters, you can put emojis. And they work like letters or words, which means they need to be inside of a I wonder if can you use emojis as variable names? Hold on, just indulge me for a second. Wow, this would be wild if it worked. Thumb gets this, and then thumb gets the string thumb. This is revealing itself to be pointless. Thumb gets thumb up. There's got to be something wrong with this, but we're not going to try. Okay, so if they get it right, the variable thumb is going to be assigned thumb up. Otherwise, the variable thumb is going to get thumb down, and we don't need to remove 1 from the score because the score is just going to be somewhere between 0 and 4, depending on how many they get right. And so they get incorrect, they get thumb down. All right, so this is where we can start to gather our result string, because after this, we are updating turn number and updating turn number is going to means we have to do the result string building at this point. And what's strange is that down here in the reset button event handler function definition, we have result string being reset to an empty string, which makes sense. The second time through the game, nothing should be saved. There's no progression or anything. Should be an interesting way to write a game, but we're talking 2 or 3 times as much work, which is fine. This isn't a ton. Either way, we don't have that variable declared yet. And you can tell because if you mouse over the triangle, it says result string hasn't been declared yet. And the reason for that is it hasn't been declared. When you get it, it says your code here, which is a weird typo because I think that should be a comment. But either way, we need a variable called result string, which it's already called result string. And because we're doing concatenating, it needs to be established as a string. Because if the first 2 things you're concatenating in your final concatenation of various things are numbers, it's going to use that first plus sign as addition. And we don't want it to be addition. As long as one of the 2 things being added or using the plus sign for as long as one of the two things is a string, it's going to count that, or both of the two things are strings. It's going to count that addition, that plus sign, as concatenating, as connecting the train cars. Where if they're both numbers, it's going to do addition. So we need to make sure the variable result string counts as an empty string. So it will have those properties and it won't mess up the mathing. Okay, so again, we need an empty string for result string, which, yeah, we haven't set the strings yet, or the whatever it's called. I don't know why this is red, probably from before. There we go. Okay, so our result string is going to be all of the things that are on that end screen. Result. Wow, result. I need to shift my home keys over. Result. Where am I? All right, result string. Okay, so every time through, we're building on what we already have. Okay, so the first time through the function, we are going to gather up everything that's for that turn. But this needs to work for every time through and have some sort of cumulative string where it's collecting everything. So the first time through, it just gets, that's not what I want. Glad that's not doxing anybody. It's getting, every time through, it needs to get what it already has followed by the new stuff. What it already has is result string. Okay, so every time through, we are reassigning the variable. What does it say? Did I misspell it? I did. I don't know what's going on with my result string. There we go. Result string is going to get whatever it already has, followed by, and stick with me, we're about to build this long concatenating. It is whatever I typed here. I have result string. It doesn't matter what it's called. Results. It's that S is blurry, for me at least. Okay. So result string is going to get whatever it already has, which is why we have need to get rid of that thing. Why we have it's starting with itself. And then it's going to be the turn number, followed by a period and a space, followed by correct answer. So we have the result string, whatever it used to be before. And then, is this where we can do, let's do new line here. Because if you were typing this out, this is where you would, now, do we do new line at the end? Result string gets whatever. No, let's do new line at the end. If we did new line here, it would start, because it's already an empty string here, there would be it would be moved down an empty line. So it wouldn't matter that much. But let's do new line at the end, because if you were typing, that's when you would hit enter. All right, so back to whatever we have, and then turn, whatever turn number it is. You don't need to type number. The name of the variable is turn. Followed by, we want literally a period and a space, so that needs to go in quotes, period, space. Followed by correct answer. Followed by, I would like a space between correct answer and the thumb. So in order to do that, we got to throw another string in there. Open quotes, space, close quotes, in order to get the character space bar. Then whatever thumb is, the variable thumb, not in quotes, which every time through will be either up or down. And then new line command, which new line command needs to be in a string. So \n, close quotes. I'll leave it like this for a second. I think demonstrating it in or showing it in block mode is kind of pointless or unnecessarily complex. I'll switch it to text mode for you. What's up? Backslash is an escape command, and it's a command that has to do with the strings. As to why it has to be in a quote and in the string, I don't know. So let me answer your question. I don't know. But here are some tangential facts. So we're building our result string. Is this on our to-do list? I believe it is. Set screen, add results screen. +1 score, add to the results output with either thumb up or thumb down. Okay, next things we need to do, so that's essentially the end of each turn, kind of. It's, or at least we've checked the answer. We're building our result string every time through. Now we need to prepare for the next question. And we need to set quiz screen to next question. We need to do both of these things. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to see if you can do it on your own. Where at this point, did I do compared to correct answer? Oh yeah, this goes compared to the correct answer. No, not that. Compare to correct answer is this. Compare to correct answer +1 to score if correct. And now in this one, we need to set quiz screen to next question and update turn number, not necessarily in that order. You do already have an example. So it's really essentially the same thing as before. Let's say 2 minutes should be enough to either sink or swim. All right, so if turn is 1, turn needs to go up by 1, which turn going up by 1 is something we need to do every turn. So having it inside of this if else if string is not necessarily necessary. It works, it will work, but because it's something that has to do every turn, it would also work outside of this. But then we still need to check for Wait, will it work the first time through? It goes to 2. I'll try it at the end. I think if I'm working through it correctly, it doesn't need to be in this at all, and we could just have one of them. We'd have to have it after. But let's just leave it the way it is for now. Okay, if turn is 1, we need to increment turn and set the emoji text to question 2. If turn double equals 2, we want to do the same thing, except set it to question 3, because that would be the next question. And if turn double equals 3, then we still want to increment it and set the question to question 4. Otherwise, go to the result string or result screen. Okay. We don't need to check for turn 4, because if it makes it past turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3, if it makes it past these 3 conditions, it has to be turn 4. And if it's already turn 4, we want to set it to the result screen. And this is going to mostly work at this point, not quite. Let's just run through it and see if there's any major bugs. Okay, so it goes through. We need to set the result text. Okay, we already have the score, and final message is a thing we'll do here in a second. But at the end, and just to make sure that it works, the result screen, or excuse me, the final message is a set of like positive affirmations, or like good job or whatever. Oh, yeah, set text. We want to set the text of, it is called results text. The other one is called final message text, final message text, and results text. So results text starts with an R. Results text is going to get our result string. Okay. I think this is a good combination of variable names and design element IDs, instead of just having like the text area called result text is going to get the variable result text. I think that makes things complex or unnecessarily confusing. So at this point, I think it should work, at least as far as where am I typing? That there we go. Batman, and then the rest wrong or empty. There we go. Okay, at this point, you should have this much working, and I'll do a quick scroll through if anybody needs to see it, but there's one more feature that we need to add, and it's that output text. So nothing here was really changed. The start button, in case you're wondering, the start button does obviously changes to the quiz screen, but this is where we set the first question, and that was already there for you. Then we're gathering the user's guess and making sure the program knows which answer is the correct one for this time through. We're checking to see if those match, and based on whether they match, well, regardless, we're concatenating these things, whatever there used to be, followed by turn number, and so on, with either the thumb up or thumbs down. Then we are setting up the next turn for the next turn number and the text for that turn, and then the output here. Okay, so the final message thing, we need a conditional. That's not what I want. We need a conditional that's going to check the score, and based on their score, make it some sort of output situation. Okay, so if we're checking score, we need a extendo if else if else if else if. Okay, so in no particular order, because we're not doing greater than or less than, it's just checking. I'm going to do it highest score to lowest score just to make sure I don't miss any. But if score double equals 4, is that the highest score? I believe so. We are going to set final message to no, that's not what I want. I want this, and no, I got it. Final message is going to get some sort of thing based on their score like perfect. Close quotes. Wow, everything's going slow right now. I think I might be a bit of a crash. And so on. But I think the final message should be well, no, this works. Let's go through this like this. If score, and you can use your own phrases that make sense and are appropriate. If score is 3, up, I did a single equal sign. That is why I enjoy teaching with block mode, because you immediately see that it's the wrong equal sign. How about good job? Not exclamation. And if score is double equals 2, we want I don't know, whatever your phrase is. Or if score double equals 1, weak and wheel. Wow, can't see anything today. Link, and then if it makes it all the way down to the end, that means the score was 0. But just give up. And this is nearly done. Let's see what happens if we go through and get them all wrong. Just give up. What about second time through? And when I test yours, I'm going to go through a couple times and make sure that it does what it's supposed to. So I got 1, correct. I would like something other or a more complex output than this. Final message is just going to be the words, but I would like to have like the score followed by the message. So we can do it all in this block, or let's just reassign final message here for the sake of collecting it. So final message, let's have it get, I want the score at the beginning. So let's have a string score, colon, space, concatenated with the variable score, concatenated with, and then I want my positive affirmation on a new line. So I'm going to do \n inside of quotes, followed by, and every time I do followed by, I'm doing space plus space. And then final message. Okay, so final message is what we give it from based on score. And then we are reassigning final message to this concatenation of the word score, what they actually got as a score, the enter key, and then whatever final message is when this line starts, meaning the original final message. And now that that's all been collected in here, we're going to set the text there. And let's see if I have the score 0. I would like, should we do a slash? Let's do /4. And this is starting to look like what's called a regular expression, which is how you would like parse the user's input to either ignore or require the something like that for text editing. But let's see, what is that going to look like? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this /4 is the characters /4 followed by new line command. I know having / / looks like something more than it is, but this / and 4 are the characters that will make up this, and then the new line command. And I think that's it. Let's try a couple times through, but let's check all the things. Case sensitivity and moonlight. Where am I? Moonlight. And 2 out of 4. Da, 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 da. Let's go through again. All caps, which we've already proven the all caps to uppercase situation. Yeah, there you go. I think that's it. Does anyone think or notice a feature I'm missing? Oh, check endgame and set result text. Just for fun, let's put this here. What's up? Okay. Let's do this. Check for endgame is update check for endgame is here. That's what all this is technically checking for endgame because we have update turn number, check for endgame. Set result text. It's like that. And the part where we are updating the score, is it this score gets score +1? All right. Let me scroll through this for the video and then I'll end the video and then I'll take individual debugging stuff. Okay, so there's the variables declaring. This is the first part of the button where we're updating what to check, then we're checking, then we are combining based on the result. We're checking for endgame and setting the text for the next question. And then we actually are setting the final message every single turn, but you can't tell because we're not on that screen. We have our final message, and then we're setting the output text. What is result text? Result text, result. Oh, this is that. Why does I didn't put this here? I guess this last one doesn't need to be here. Because we're setting result text twice. And then the other stuff we have, and I'll scroll through in text mode. And the next part, and the other part, and the output, and there's that. Okay. All right. Let me know if you have any questions.